attention to the examples we have here with if you heat ice, it melts. What does it mean? اگه یخ رو آب کنید، اگه به یخ حرارت بدید، آب میشه. It's a scientific fact. If it rains, the grass gets wet. This is something that is always true. اگه بارون بیاد، چمن خیس میشه. همیشه این اتفاق میفته. If you freeze water, it becomes a solid. جامد میشه. Again, another scientific fact. If plants don't get enough water, they die. Generally true. Always true. If you mix red and blue, you get purple. And if you touch a fire, you get burned. The last one, if water reaches 100 degrees, it boils. Would you please repeat after me? If you heat ice, it melts. If you heat ice, it melts. If it rains, the grass gets wet. If it rains, the grass gets wet. If you freeze water, it becomes a solid. If plants don't get enough water, they die. If you mix red and blue, you get purple. If you touch a fire, you get burned. If water reaches 100 degrees, it boils. If clause, we have got if clause and the main clause. This is zero conditional sentences. Zero conditional sentences. In zero conditional sentences, we are talking about, actually this conditional is used when we want to talk about scientific facts and things that are always true, generally true, and the result will always happen. All right? If we have got the if clause plus the simple present, okay? We have the subject, the main verb, simple present. Then we have the comma, the main clause. Again, we have a subject and the simple present, a clause again. A subject and the verb with simple present form. If you freeze water, it becomes a solid. If you freeze water, it becomes a solid. We have the comma. We can also change the place of the two clauses. If we start with the main clause, we say water becomes solid, no comma, if you freeze it. اگه پس if clause رو داریم اول جمله استفاده میکنیم، قطعاً کاما رو نیاز داریم. اگه برعکس با main clause شروع میکنیم، دیگه کاما رو بهش نیازی نداریم. Alright. Now, it's your turn to make a conversation. You're alone at home and you're planning for an important job interview you have next week. You feel a little nervous. Talk to your friend about it. Now, pause the video and answer these questions. How do you feel if you're alone at home? Do you feel scared? Write about your feelings. What do you do if you feel jealous? Use zero conditional sentences, please. What do you do if you feel jealous? If I feel jealous, I go and talk to that person, for example. What do you do if you feel sleepy in the class? If I feel sleepy in the class, for example, if I feel sleepy in the class, I go out and I wash my face. Simple present, simple present.
Reading. Homeschooling.
Homeschooling is a choice made by some parents to provide education to their children in their own homes. It's popular in the United States, and it is becoming more popular in the United Kingdom, Australia, South Africa, and Japan. There are several advantages to homeschooling. For example, parents choose what their children learn. Because parents can teach their children one-on-one, They often understand the curriculum better and more quickly, too. On the other hand, if their children need more time to learn something, parents can work with them at a slower pace. Parents also like to spend more time together as a family, and children feel safe at home. A safe environment often leads to better learning. There are disadvantages as well. Homeschooled students often feel lonely because they don't spend as much time with other kids their age. They don't get to talk with classmates about things like parents and homework. Parents also feel lonely because they must spend time teaching children and don't get to talk with other adults at work. In addition, homeschooled students sometimes cannot play school sports or participate in other activities and programs available to people in a school. Only you can decide if homeschooling is right for you and your family. Take the time to do the research and consider the pros and cons. American parents' reasons for homeschooling. Better education at home, 48.9%. Religious reasons, 38.4%. Poor learning environment at school, 25.6%. Family reasons, 16.8%. To develop child's character, 15.1%. Disagree with school's curriculum, 12.1%. School is too easy, 11.6%. School is not available, 11.5%. Child's behavior problems, 9.0%. Child's special needs, 8.2%.
You read an article about homeschooling. What is your opinion about homeschooling? Do you agree with that? You know, homeschooling is not very popular in Iran. What do you do? If you had children, would you send your children to school or you would go for homeschooling? We can talk about some phrases we had in this article. Curriculum, repeat please, curriculum. Curriculum is the subject studied in high school or university. When you do something one-on-one, do something one-on-one. A one-on-one activity involves two people talking directly, usually with one teaching or giving information to the other. Like what? It says, parents, this is the sentence in the article, parents can teach their children one-on-one. In homeschooling, parents can teach their children one-on-one. Another example, therapists who work one-on-one with patients. Therapists who work one-on-one with their patients. The other phrase is slower pace. This is easy. Slower speed. Parents can work with their children at a slower pace. با ریتم کندتری، با سرعت کندتری میتونن با بچه‌ها کار بکنن موقعی که homeschooling میشن. Safe environment, a safe place. Safe environment, a safe place. We don't have any example for that. Leads to, something leads to something. Something leads to something. If an action or event leads to something, it causes that thing to happen or exist. Like what? It says, a safe environment, this is the sentence in the article, a safe environment leads to better learning. باعث میشه که داریم راجع به کازش صحبت میکنیم. باعث میشه که سرعت در یادگیری اتفاق بیفته یا یادگیری بهتری اتفاق بیفته. There is no doubt, B is silent. There is no doubt that stress can lead to physical illness. هیچ تردیدی وجود نداره که، هیچ شکی وجود نداره که استرس باعث بیماری‌های فیزیکی میشه. And the last phrase, get to. I don't get to do something. manage to do something. The sentence we had in the article was parents don't get to talk with other adults. نمیتونن با بقیه بزرگسالا با پدر مادرای بقیه بچه ها صحبت بکنن. When I work at home, I get to spend a lot of time with you and the kids. میتونم منیج بکنم که وقت بیشتری رو با تو و بچه ها بگذرونم.